Little Rock head coach Chris Curry, team coming off the OVC tournament championship this past season. Exciting run in the NCAA regionals. So, Coach, heading into 2026, give us some general thoughts about you and your team.
Yeah, we're about ready to stop talking about 2025 as great as it was. We've got a ring ceremony on Saturday at the basketball game, and then we're going to really put that behind us, because the truth of the matter is we've got 23 new guys, and they were not here last year, and that is that's kind of the way the climate of college baseball is going. Is no one knows anything about what they have until you play game number one. And so we're most excited to do that. Like everyone else, I expect it to be another very tough conference slate, and I'm excited to see our team compete. We saw a little bit there in the fall with a couple of scrimmages, but you can't simulate when it really counts.
Well, I'm going to ask you one more about last year, and then we'll look forward. What was the difference maker? What kind of switch turned to what you all did in the postseason? And then how do you take whatever you learned, even with all those new people, and just start from the beginning? Maybe a little bit better, and use that success to catapult into this season.
Well, number one, we got healthy. There were at the same time for a long time 6 guys out of the lineup that ended up being in the lineup in the final game in a championship of the regional against LSU, and so that mattered. What we've talked about here is, and our goal, if you look at the last 2 seasons, in 24 we had a great regular season and not a good tournament. In 25 we had a bad regular season and a great tournament. We want to mesh those 2 things. We want to be consistent from wire to wire. We want to be the same identity, personality, and the same team from the beginning to the end, not dictated by polls or rankings or standings or place or finish, but just how we play game in and game out. That's what we've really been talking about.
What is I'm building off that. What is something that your staff has emphasized, in practice, all these practices you've had to the team ahead of next weekend's first game, regular season game?
Competition. Nobody is set in stone. Nobody's sharpied in the lineup. Even though you've got some really good players returning, there are a lot of good players coming in, and we've just tried to stress the importance of every day showing up to do your job. I believe there's more depth on the mound. There are abilities to match up a lot better than last year. We won't have to stick with a guy and ask him to get 3 more outs when probably he needs to come out of the game, or we'll be able to set guys up for situations that they're more built for. We'll be able to match up a little bit in the lineup, and but the most important thing is consistency is what we've been preaching. And if our team is consistent, if each player is consistent, the talent is there to compete with anybody.
Before we look as a whole to your team, talk about some of those returning players, and I would think in this time when you have some really key people coming back, it's an extra success. It's not a given they'll come back. Talk about some of those returning players who will maybe add to that experience on your team.
Well, you got Jack Klein on the mound, who threw a complete game in the finals there at the tournament. That matters because of the experience. We do have a handful of older guys in the bullpen and on the mound that'll really help from an experience standpoint. And I'm talking about, Gage Haley, Josh Beasley, Blake Van Cleve, Brody Bunting, guys that have pitched in high leverage situations. Hunter Royal, Angel Cano coming back. He's healthy finally, and we saw him healthy the last 10 games. Cade Martin, who was the OVC tournament MVP, was as a freshman last year, is back, along with Trey Hill, along with Jack Bilski behind the plate. We get Nico Bamba back for his 7th year, and he is a previous 2-time all-conference player in this league. But also Nolan Friend over at third. Shortstop, we're replacing a 3rd-team All-American Gold Glover in Alex Seguin, but 2 guys that I like in Jerry Lopez, Lance Anderson. Cooper Chaplin's back. He's an all-conference player last year. But then you've got Jake McClure, who can play anywhere. And we mentioned Cano in the outfield, Ty Rhodes, who's set up to break all of our career records because he's been a starter since a freshman. And then you got some new guys to replace there, like Michael O'Brien, Mississippi State transfer, Austin Coyle, junior college transfer, David Stanley. We've also got Blake Simpson from Missouri. And so there are a lot of guys coming back. But to answer your question, Kyle, the core nucleus, the only guy we lost was Jackson Wells to the Houston Astros, and everyone else returned. I think that's key to mesh with our new players and create some chemistry.
Now it's February 5th today. Opening day is a week and a day away. What do you like most about the team today? And is that what you think maybe you'll like most about the team on May 1st, or can things change, as you grow and develop?
They show up every day and they do their job. We've been able to rely on them and trust them. They broke the program record for GPA. Does that mean you're going to win a championship? No. I think that's one piece, one pillar that is part of it. We trust them. We're able to communicate with them at a high level as far as what we're expecting in practice and what they need as compared to what we see that they need to do better. They're able to give us good, mature feedback, high baseball IQ. But I go back to the competition. The best thing I like are there interchangeable parts. And there's not a player on the team that we would not trust to be in the starting lineup. And then I really believe that we're going to be able to put our pitchers in better situations that they're more suited for. There'll be new names on the mound. And we need to pitch better as a program. Overall, the last 2 years, as a group, we need to pitch better. We've had some individual efforts that have been outstanding, but I'm excited about a staff that's able to lead us from the mound, because as we all know in baseball, it starts and finishes on the mound.
Well, let's talk about then the schedule before you get to OVC play, and just how that'll help your team develop in some of those key matchups.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of different looks. We get to open up the first 2 weekends at home with Eastern Michigan and then West Georgia, and then a very, very tough road series at Missouri State. Another tough road series at Samford. Both of those are perennial powers. I think Samford's picked to win their league. And before we jump into OVC play, but we'll also play some really good non-conference opponents: Arkansas, Ole Miss, Louisiana Tech, and Memphis a couple of times. We'll keep our in-state rivalries going with Arkansas State, UCA, and Pine Bluff. And I think, and also Rio Grande Valley and Oral Roberts on the midweeks with a couple of games each. So we'll have been tested, which is always our plan, to have seen everything and traveled, and that way we're most prepared as we can be for the OVC schedule.
Last question, and you talked about with newcomers, you don't know what other teams have or whatever, but just in general, what do you expect the race to be like in the OVC, and just from what you've learned and these other head coaches, when you lace it up for that first conference series, what do you think it'll be like those 8 weeks of the season?
I expect it to be like it's been every year. It's tight. Nobody runs away with the league. It's a very gritty, grinder type league. I think where the series are played matter a lot. As far as home teams generally have a high winning percentage in this league. If you look at it, I think it's very good baseball coaches that find a way to do more with less in a lot of instances, and they're very sharp and they're good at their job, and that's why our league fares well when we play outside competition. And they're not afraid to play anybody anywhere. I have a ton of respect for the guys in the league, and I expect it to be another tough, grinded out year in our league, and a tough tournament.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time. Best luck to you and your team this whole 2026 season.
Thank you, Kyle. Go Trojans.